Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the 2020 NOSSCAR Dirt Touring Series Championship race right here at the Charlotte Dirt Track on NASCAR Heat 4. I am Tymac 11, 2020 NOSSCAR Legend Series champion. Sit back, relax, grab a cold one now more than ever. If you're ever going to grab a cold one, grab one now, folks. It is the championship race for 2020. These NOSSCAR Dirt Touring Series drivers have thundered their way into Charlotte with one goal in mind, and that is to win the championship. Some of these drivers mathematically cannot win the championship, so they will be looking to win the race and walk away happy with calling it a season at that. The Orange Bomber enters this race with a 9-point advantage over Gen 50 in the number 66 machine. Now Gen 50 went to the back of the pack. He had to start in 14th place, folks, at the tail of the field after making adjustments after qualifying. He and Bowman Nation both in the 4-car and Gen 50 in the 66 starting at the rear, working their way through the traffic while Orange Bomber enjoys his comfortable lead at the front. NASCAR Oof in the 2 qualified second for this race. He's trying to hold on to second right now. He's got K Taddy in the 30 right behind him. K Taddy, of course, coming off a big win earlier tonight at the Texas Dirt Track. And it's Tanner Swally in the number 8 car running in fourth. Gen 50 has now worked his way to the 5th position. Keeping our eye on him, he is the closest competitor for the championship. So we're trying to get a better understanding on where everybody is running. There's Trash Works on number 89 machine. He makes contact with the outside wall. He saw a car coming up and he had to take evasive action. Luckily, the car was ghosted by the time he got to him. And now the battle for position is on between he and Intel. Intel there, the driver of the number 85, just in front of Trash Works. Laps in the history books already. The Orange Bomber putting on a blistering pace, and man, tough break, but UMP modified, had to pull off the racetrack. Something came up in real life outside the virtual world, so he's off the racetrack, done for the night. In that dirt late model, and now battle continues. NASCAR Oof just got passed by K Taddy. That was for position. Getting a report that it's Intel actually running in the 2nd position in the number 85 machine. Trash Works in the 89 runs in 3rd. K Taddy running in 4th. NASCAR Oof in the number 2 car. There you see him. He runs in the 5th position. Gen 50 runs in 6th, and Bowman Nation runs in 7th. Getting a report Tanner Swally is 1 lap down in the 8 car. So he is not battling for position in that pack of cars there. They're all chasing the Orange Bomber. Again, comes into this race with a 9-point advantage. 7 wins this season, 14 top 5 finishes in the first 15 races. Of course, this being the season finale. Looking to finish strong. He's got the lead, and he's doing just that, folks. Some of the leaders already working through a little bit of lap traffic, and it's not really slowing them down any. Charlotte dirt track, very short, very flat dirt track. It's a bit of a tricky one, and it's a tricky one to make passes on, but so far these leaders not getting held up. Everything looks pretty smooth out there. The orange bomber is leading, and he's pretty close to putting a lap actually on Gen 50. He is the next car to go, one lap down, and that's the big story of the race right there. He's trying to close in on the orange bomber if he can, and he's going to need a caution if he's going to have any chance of doing that. Gen 50 running in the 6th position there. You see him, the orange bomber is the leader, and they're on the same straightaway. There's 2 cars in between each other, but yeah, that's the battle for the championship. Points leader working his way through the lap traffic. There's Tanner Swally in the 8 car. He's to the outside of the race leader. And points leader, that is the orange bomber in the 67. It looks like he's going to clear him and put him a 2nd lap down. Gen 50's the next car just in front of him as he crosses the start-finish line. The leaders have completed 38 laps, 39 laps now have been completed here in the championship race, and that leaves us with 61 laps to go until we crown a 2020 NASCAR Dirt Touring Series champion. 9-point advantage for Orange Bomber coming into this race over Gen 50 in the 66. And right now, the Orange Bomber has the race lead. Gen 50 running in 6th. So as of right now, it would be the Orange Bomber being crowned the 2020 NASCAR Dirt Touring Series champion. If all were to hold station, there's Trash Works in the 89. Not a playoff driver, but he's certainly one of the contenders for the win. Almost every time he brings a car out here, has a win earlier this season in his part-time campaign. Whole lot of front-end damage, though, to that number 89 machine. These cars are turning laps here, 14, 15-second lap times. They go by quick, folks, completing about 4 laps every minute. 2 cars off the racetrack. Looks like Crazy Legs, 55, Rockin' Lunatic in the 28, and UMP Modified off the racetrack as well in the 53. Intel doing a great job running in the 2nd position. K-Taddy in the number 30 runs in 3rd. NASCAR Oof in the number 2. He runs in 4th. All of these drivers except for K-Taddy, of course, are playoff drivers. Intel mathematically cannot win the championship. NASCAR Oof in the 2 would need some drastic circumstances to happen in order to win this championship. He's currently running in the 4th position in the 2 car. The one with the biggest chance is Gen 50, but he's got to start working his way through this field. He's got to hope for a caution to come out at this point. There's Trash Works in the 89. He runs in the 5th position. He was up there in the top 3 at one point, losing a little bit of ground to those guys now. And there's a good look at Gen 50, that pink dirt late model just behind him. He's under fire from your race leader, and that's the battle right there to stay on the lead lap. Gen 50 up into the outside wall coming out of turn 2. He goes a lap down to the Orange Bomber. And that is huge. That is critical. And we just crossed the halfway point of the race. So if a caution were to come out right now, Gen 50 would get the free pass, but he would have to start once again at the tail of the field like he did for the race. He made adjustments to his car after qualifying and therefore had to start at the rear. Bowman Nation did the same thing in the 4 car, and they both started 13th and 14th. Gen 50 up to the 6th position. Bowman Nation running in 8th in the 4 car. And the top 5 are left on the lead lap. Gen 50 now up into the outside wall again. This time it was coming out of turn 4. Handling might be a miss to that car. And he sees a championship slipping away to the Orange Bomber. They have raced each other a lot in these dirt late models on these NASCAR heat games. They know each other really well. A little bit deeper in the field, there you see NASCAR Oof in the 2 is trying to find his way around Tanner Swally, and there was contact made. Around goes Tanner, and Trashworks was involved in the 89. This might cause a caution. Gen 50 got involved, and there you see him motionless there on the racetrack, and I don't think that a caution has come out. We're still green as of right now. And he's ghosted sitting on the racetrack, and that's a tough break for him. I think he was hoping for a caution to come out. There was a 3-car wreck over there, and that really takes the championship hopes away from Gen 50. He's now gone 2 laps down to your race leader, Orange Bomber. The Orange Bomber's got a commanding lead when it comes to the points. At this point, only 40 laps to go until we crown a champion. There was more contact made there between NASCAR Oof and Tanner Swally. I didn't see if something maybe happened before that, but these two keep getting into each other out there. And now Tanner has pulled his number 8 red dirt late model off the racetrack. He's done for the day, and that leaves 10 cars left on the racetrack. And still all being led by the Orange Bomber. There's Intel in the number 85 machine. He was running in 2nd up until just a couple of laps ago. Now that position belongs to K Taddy in the number 30. Oh, and there's another crash. This time it involves K Taddy in the number 30. There was a couple of other cars involved. I couldn't get a good look at who they were. Gen 50 in the number 66 was involved, and now he is rolling his car to a stop in the infield area of the Charlotte dirt track. It looks like his day might be done. The wreck involved he and K Taddy. There was a couple of other cars involved, and that might have been the end for Gen 50, folks. He's still rolling. Now he stopped against one of the tire barriers to the inside of the track in the grass area, and the day has gone from bad to worse for one of the championship contenders here at the Charlotte dirt track. 31 laps to go. Ooh, contact was made. Orange Bomber, NASCAR Oof in the 2. They go by Gen 50 again in the 66. Bit of a heartbreaker for them. And we're getting a little bit of a better idea about where everybody is running on the racetrack in terms of the running order. We're getting things sorted out for you a little bit here. It's hard to keep track of everything with no leaderboard from the spectator view. We know that the Orange Bomber continues to lead and have an impressive run. And it's got ya in the double zero, running in the second position. And he's not too far away from the orange bomber. He is a playoff driver, comes into this race fourth in the point standings. Keep in mind, he's going to need a bit of a miracle to pull off the championship at this point. The orange bomber is the leader, and he's only getting further and further away, it seems. Well, you know what? I shouldn't say that. The distance seems to be staying about the same, but it changes. It fluctuates at times because of the lap traffic. Charlotte, a very, very short dirt track. And these drivers having a bit of a difficult time with these lap cars. And it's coming down to who's going to get through the traffic best for when it comes to who's going to win this thing. At least who's going to win the race. When it comes to the championship, the orange bomber has a pretty firm hold on this. The only way it could change is if a caution comes out. We've been lean, mean, clean, and green since the start of this one. Gen 50 just got caught up in an incident just in front of your race leader there. And now there was a little bit of contact made. It was a pretty hard hit, but I think that Orange Bomber's going to be okay. He's soldiering on. He's still the leader. Got ya. Tyler Wagner, he's running in second still. Now the gap beginning to gain a little bit. It's increasing in between the drivers running first and second. Problems again for Gen 50, one of the championship contenders coming into this race. He's pulled off the track there, and his race could be coming to an end here. About 20 laps to go till we crown a 2020 champion. And shout out to Seaman Nation, one of the drivers who made the playoffs. However, he races real life events on Saturday nights, and tonight was race day for him. And he was unable to compete here tonight and make it for the 2020 NOSSCAR Dirt Touring Series Championship night. Shout out to him and his race team and his racing family. Outside of virtual racing, best of luck to him this season, and we completely understand that you couldn't make it tonight. Congrats on making the playoffs here in NOSSCAR, and good luck to you in your future races. We saw a moment ago, Rockin' Lunatic. He's begun to roll again. Some repairs have been made to that race machine. Now Gen 50 in the number 66 rolling very slowly towards the far inside of the racetrack. 15 laps to go here at the Charlotte Dirt Track. Things are looking good for the Orange Bomber. Closest competition for the race win would be Got Ya in that double zero, and he's not going anywhere. He's having a good race there with K Taddy in the number 30. Of course, K Taddy 1 lap down. K was running up there on the lead lap and in the top 5 until he got caught up in that incident with Gen 50 and a couple of other cars. We've seen 2 major incidents in this race, but both resulted in no cautions. We stayed green. The officials turned a blind eye to those circumstances. Shout out to NASCAR Oof. Became the youngest NOSSCAR Dirt Touring Series race winner in history. Earlier this season, he won at Jefferson, the road course. In fact, Jefferson saw 2 first-time winners this season. NASCAR Oof in the 2, Bad Moon Rising in the number 58, both making history. Youngest winner in history and first female driver to win in NOSSCAR Dirt Touring Series history. So hats off to NASCAR Oof in the 2. Comes into this race 3rd in the point standings. He had a mathematical chance of winning the championship entering this one. It wasn't a great chance, but it was still there. And as they run right now, he's not going to do it, but he's still holding on to 3rd in the point standings as they run. And that would be a great rookie season for him. Under 10 laps to go, folks. Oh, and there was a big problem. Oh, it might have been actually just a connection issue instead, and I'm glad. It was the points leader. It was the race leader, the Orange Bomber, and it looked like he was out of control there, but he's very much in control, folks. 6 laps to go at the Charlotte Dirt Track. 6 laps to go until the Orange Bomber gets crowned the 2020 NOSSCAR Dirt Touring Series champion. Now, the last thing that he wants to see is a caution. He wants this thing to stay green. He puts another lap on Gen 50 in the 66. He's coming up on the back of the 89 of Trashworks. Trashworks, no slouch, that's for sure. He's got to win this season, and he's ran a very strong, successful 2020 campaign. Part-time or not. 5 laps to go for the Orange Bomber. It's not going to be an easy task for him to get around Trashworks, unless there's a bit of a deal made, maybe some communication between the two. 4 to go. We're counting them off for the Orange Bomber. A little bit of damage to the front end of that number 67 machine. It hasn't really hindered the performance of that car at all in this race, and it still hasn't. Just behind him, it was Intel in the number 85 bouncing off the outside wall. He's going to continue to go, but oh, that's the checkered, folks. I was worried, and no, wait. No, it isn't. We have a caution with 2 laps to go in the championship race. Are you kidding me? The pace that Orange Bomber has been able to put on the field, though, there's only going to be 3 cars on the lead lap when they go back racing. And Intel in the 85 is going to be at the tail of the field after taking the free pass. It's going to be Gatya in the 00 that's going to be right there with the Orange Bomber, who's going to have a chance to take the race win away. But as for the championship, it's almost a lock for the Orange Bomber. Even if he falls to 3rd, he's going to have the 2020 NOSSCAR Dirt Touring Series Championship. 2 laps to go. The green flag is in the air. Green, white, checkered to decide the championship. Around goes NASCAR. Oof, in turn 2. Never mind, it was a connection issue. He pops back into place. White flag in the air for the Orange Bomber. Gatya looking to the inside to try to take the race win. One more turn. Gatya's going to send it in hard there in the 00. He got a little out of shape trying to do it. The Orange Bomber is going to win, and he's going to win the championship as well. Oh, what a finish. The Orange Bomber is going to do it. Gatya is going to finish in 2nd, Intel in 3rd, K-Taddy in 4th, and NASCAR Oof is going to round out the top 5. Bowman in 6th, Trashworks in 7th, Shadow in 8th, Gen 50 in 9th, Tanner Swally rounding out the top 10. 14 drivers entered this one. 28 drivers in total entered the 2020 NOSSCAR Dirt Touring Series. And at the end of the 16 races, it's the Orange Bomber winning the 2020 NOSSCAR Dirt Touring Series Championship. And he did it in grand style, folks. He wins the championship race as well. 8 wins this season, 15 top 5 finishes, 7 pole awards. A dominating performance, an amazing job by him, his teammates, his race team. Everyone over there at that number 67 organization, rather, should be very proud. Gatya with the quickest lap time of the race. Orange Bomber, NASCAR Oof, Intel, all quick lap times in that one. We have post-race interviews coming up, folks. Not only are we going to speak to the drivers who finished in 3rd and 2nd in the championship race, we're going to speak to the drivers who also finished high up in the point standings, and of course we're going to speak to your champion, Orange Bomber. And joining us in the broadcast booth, the driver who finished in third here in the championship race. Not only did he finish third in the final race of the season, but he brought it home solid in the top 5 in the final standings. Final standings will be available later tonight. But first, post-race interviews begin. We're starting with Intel, driver of the number 85 Dirt Late model. You brought it home in third. You showed good speed. There wasn't too many cars left on the lead lap for that final restart that made things a little bit easier for you. How crazy was this race from your perspective? We saw action and chaos all over the racetrack.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. It was a little hectic at first. I don't think I qualified too good. I think I was in like 10th. And I had to really work for this one. I was hoping on the restart we'd have a few more laps so I could try and catch Haha and Orange, try to take that W for the championship, or just have a W on my hand. But Orange and Haha are pretty fast. I've been racing with them in other leagues as well, and it's just they're really good drivers. They're really hard to pass, and they prove it day in and day out.
You did really well, and you started the season late. You kind of came to the party a little bit late, but you showed good speed right from the start. You've been racing with these other fast guys in other leagues before, so you've been tested and tuned to deal with this type of competition. How was the racing from your experience and your side of things?
I honestly, I no offense to the other leagues, I loved Giggity, I loved Sweet Bud's League, but I think that the NOSSCAR League is probably by far my favorite. There's a lot of clean racers in here, not a lot of BS, if you know what I mean, going on, so it was a lot easier and to deal with the drama in the party chat, but I will say by far this is my favorite league, and there's competition everywhere. It's growing. It's showing a lot, and I appreciate being able to join, even though it was so late. I will say, though, in my perspective, I do believe that if I could have joined earlier in the season, I would have had a more of an impact on maybe the top 3, but I'll let next season show.
You're definitely not getting any argument from me, that's for sure. I agree 100%. Thanks for joining us. Better late than never, Intel. Congratulations on another podium finish.
Thank you.
And joining us as well is Haha Got finishing runner-up here in the season finale event, and going to get a top 5 in the final standings as well. Solid season for you, and you finished it strong. You almost had the Orange Bomber for the race win there at the very end. What was going through your mind when you made the big move down to the bottom going into turn 3?
I'm like, man, I hope she sticks, 'cause I'd hate to run this guy over.
It almost did. You got alongside him. I don't think there was contact, but it looked like you maybe lifted a little bit to avoid the contact. Is that kind of what happened?
Nah, I caught the mud and the grass down there on the bottom. It just cocked the rest of the car sideways more, and I wanted it to.
Ah, I see. We saw the pace in this one by the leaders. It was a blistering pace, really. A lot of cars a lap down. What things were you doing to keep yourself in second and on the lead lap and in contention for this win?
Just staying consistent and just running the line that the lap cars weren't. I didn't tell them to get out of the way. I didn't tell them to move, because in real life, they're not going to move. You got to race on them.
Completely understandable. And one last thing, are you coming back next season?
Oh yeah, man. I'm a diehard NOSSCAR Dirt Touring Series guy. I've been here from day one.
Awesome. I was just checking. You're a season one or a day one, we know that. We're happy to have you. Congrats on your second place finish and a great season as well.
Yeah, thank you. Hey, congrats on the championship, man.
Thanks, bud.
Before we get to our 2020 champion, we also have NASCAR Oof, driver of the number 2 Dirt Late model here. He finished in 5th in this race, and he's going to finish in 3rd in the final standings once we finalize all of that and take care of that later tonight. NASCAR Oof, hopefully you're here with us, and we wanted to ask you about how your race went from your perspective. It was a bit of a wild one, but you were able to hang on for a top 5 finish.
Yeah, it was wild having all the slow cars in the way. It made it a little hard. After Orange left me, I started to run his lane. I was keeping up with him, but he was still pulling away. And whenever K-Taddy got oofed or something, that let me let me get fourth. But I was still trying to track down intel, and I just couldn't get him. But the odd thing is, at the finish line, I smacked Rock, and that somehow brought out the late race caution. That was just crazy. We had more calamity than that, and there was no caution. This game needs some help.
Yeah, it was a wild time to call a caution, that's for sure. 2 laps to go in the championship race. If there was more cars on the lead lap, that would have made for some wild, exciting stuff right there. It already was wild and exciting, but Orange Bomber could at least breathe for those 2 laps rather than have to hold his breath. What things were you able to do, Oof, to improve so much? Because I was going to say this to you. From the time you came in to now, you've improved so much. You went from scratching and clawing for top 10s to being able to scratch and claw for those wins, just being outside the win column a couple times. And you found victory lane at Jefferson as well. What things have you been doing to improve, and what's been helping you the most? Anyone you want to thank as well?
I mean, I didn't really practice for this because I just didn't feel like practicing much for the race. Like, I don't practice all week, but I was just trying to run as good as I can. I think K 2005 and 1977, even, he's a PS3 player. He was the one who got me into NOSSCAR, and I'm glad to be here.
Well, you're doing a great job. You just finished 3rd in the final standings, and you just got another top 5 here to finish off the 2020 season. Congratulations.
Yeah. One more thing. Having with NASCAR 15, I think I've had podium finishes for almost all the championships I've finished. Instead of not counting the Elite Series. I got this is basically I've gotten all podium championship finishes. It is pretty cool.
You got a good streak going. Hopefully you can keep it up, and hopefully you can keep that streak alive for the Platinum Cup Series as well. We know that you're in that, and you're almost in the playoffs at this point. So keep up the good work on Friday nights as well.
Copy that.
All right, now keeping the ball rolling, Gen 50 finishing 2nd in the final standings. Now, Gen 50, I know you didn't get the finish you were hoping for in the championship race. You finished 9th in that race, and that's ultimately what kind of sealed your fate in this one. It was your worst finish of the 3 playoff races. What went wrong for you out there? What happened?
I don't think he's in here, bud.
Oh, no.
No, he's not in here.
Oh,
yeah,
shoot.
50 didn't end up getting a join.
Okay. Copy that. I apologize, folks. Apparently we're not going to hear from Gen 50. I wanted to get his side of things there because he had a bit of a rough race, and he's not known for that sort of thing. So, yeah, tough break.
He got caught up in an accident, and his car was pretty much messed up, and caution didn't come until too late where he couldn't catch back up.
Yeah, he was getting wrecked left and right.
Tough break. Well, yeah. Gen 50, nevertheless, is going to finish in 2nd in the final standings for the 2020 NOSSCAR Dirt Touring Series with 2 wins and a whole lot of top 5 finishes. He did a great job this season. Shout out to him. Moving forward, last but certainly not least, many of the NOSSCAR viewers and fans and drivers who have been paying attention to the 2020 Dirt season maybe saw this coming. This was a lot of their predictions, folks. The Orange Bomber has done it. He is your 2020 NOSSCAR Dirt Touring Series champion. 8 wins, 15 top 5s. He had pretty much a flawless season. 1 hiccup type of race, and that was way back in the regular season. I'm at a loss for words, man. It was a flawless, dominant season for you, and you are standing here before us, the 2020 champion. How did you do it? Who do you have to thank? And, yeah, tell us what's going through your mind.
I think all my teammates, with all our practice and stuff, that's how we get better. And it was a good season. I can't wait for next season, to be honest with you.
We've seen drivers put on a racing clinic, if you will, in the NOSSCAR Dirt Touring Series in the past, like Too Slow Charlie with 7 wins in a season, and Michael Birch 9 wins in a season. Your name ranks up there with drivers like that. You got 8 wins this season, and you walked away the champion. What does that mean to you as a virtual driver here for the dirt cars on the Heat Games?
There's always room to get better. I loved racing here this year. This league and Giggity is probably my 2 favorite leagues.
Well, we take pride and honor in that, and we hope that you keep coming back. And one other thing we wanted to ask you about, you said that you were a little bit iffy about your chances of winning the championship because of the 3 tracks being really short and flat dirt tracks, and then you came out here and you won the races, or 2 of the 3. So were you bluffing, or were you truly that concerned?
I'm really, truly concerned. The short tracks are like I said, Texas, Charlotte, and Vegas are my worst tracks. If I wouldn't have got the pole, it might have been a different story.
Did you learn anything new that you might apply to future dirt races?
As far as short tracks, I got a lot of work to do. I should be in the 3s, and I'm in low 4s, sometimes high 3s. But short tracks, I got a lot of work.
Track fucking helping you.
What would sorry to interrupt, but what would have been good for me if Drebin took one of these 3 races? I probably could have gotten a 2nd place, but the Ty made up the schedule and Drebin was decided to not be in the playoffs, so it sucks, but oh well.
Win some, you lose some, oof. Thanks very much, Orange Bomber, for joining us, and once again, congratulations on the 2020 championship. We'll see you next season.
Thank you.
All right, guys, that's going to do it. I hope that you guys enjoyed the roller coaster ride as much as I did. 4 crazy weeks, 4 crazy nights. Saturday night NOSSCAR Dirt Touring Series action is in the history books for 2020 here on NASCAR Heat 4 when the smoke cleared and when it was all said and done. It's the Orange Bomber driving the number 67 Dirt Late Model to the championship. And I'd like to also say that I had a great time bringing you guys the coverage and the commentary. I hope that you guys hit the subscribe button and the thumbs up button. Hopefully you enjoyed all the action. And hopefully we see you guys more on Friday nights on the Left Turn Broadcasting YouTube channel for the NOSSCAR Platinum Cup Series races. And hopefully we see you guys very soon on Saturday nights for the NOSSCAR GT Cup Series hosted on Gran Turismo Sport. I'm TyMac11, and from all of us here at NOSSCAR, we're saying so long and once again congratulations to the Orange Bomber.